There is a single financial decision that matters more than your salary, more than your budget, and more than any stock anyone will ever recommend to you. It takes about 30 seconds. It happens on the day you get paid, before you have spent a single dollar. And the overwhelming majority of Americans make it in the exact wrong order without ever realizing a decision was there to be made. Here's the part that offends people. Earning more money does not fix it. Surveys keep finding that a majority of American workers describe themselves as living paycheck to paycheck, and that group is not made up only of low earners. A striking share of people pulling in six figures say they reach the end of the month with almost nothing left. Nearly half of high earners in some surveys. Read that twice. These are not people who cannot afford to save. These are people whose money arrives, sits in a checking account for a few days, and quietly evaporates in the wrong direction. So this is not a story about income. It is a story about routing. The money comes in. It simply leaves through the wrong door, in the wrong order, before anyone has told it where to go. And in the next few minutes, we are going to fix the order, because the order is the whole game. Problem 1. The routing problem. Most people believe that saving is what happens to the money that survives the month. You pay the rent, you pay the car, you buy the groceries, you handle the little emergencies and the large temptations, and then, if the gods are generous, something is left over. That leftover is what you save. This feels responsible. It is, in fact, a mathematical trap, because the amount left at the end of the month is not a number you control. It is a residue. It is whatever is left after every impulse, every subscription, every slightly too nice dinner has taken its cut. Some months that residue is $300. Some months it is zero. Some months it is a credit card balance, which is to say, less than zero. Building your financial future out of a residue is like trying to fill a bucket with whatever water misses the drain. The wealthy, almost without exception, invert this. They do not save what is left after they spend. They spend what is left after they save. The saving comes first, off the top, the moment the money lands, before the mind has had a chance to reclassify that balance as permission. This is the oldest piece of advice in personal finance, usually phrased as pay yourself first, and it is old and unglamorous precisely because it is the part that actually works. The mechanism is subtle. When a fixed amount leaves your account for your future the instant you are paid, the money you have left to spend becomes, by definition, the only money there. You do not budget it. You do not track it. You simply live inside it because there is nothing else to live inside. The saving is no longer a decision you make 30 times a month against your own worst instincts. It is a decision you made once, in advance, and then never had to make again. Problem 2. The willpower tax. Here is what nobody tells you about willpower. It is not a personality trait. It is a consumable. It is a tank of fuel that starts full in the morning and runs down over the course of the day as you make decisions, resist temptations, and grind through the ordinary friction of being alive. By evening, the tank is nearly empty, which is precisely why the disciplined eater orders dessert at 9 and the careful spender buys the thing at midnight. This is not weakness, it is depletion, which means that any financial plan built on discipline is a plan built on a resource that is guaranteed to run out. The budgeting app that pings you at the register, the spreadsheet you swore you would update, the resolution to be good this month. All of it is a tax on your willpower, collected daily, and willpower is the one account that is always overdrawn by the end of the day. The elegant move is to remove the decision entirely. Automation is not a productivity trick here. It is a way of spending your willpower once on a calm afternoon and then never spending it again. You log into the system a single time. You set a fixed transfer to leave for your retirement account, your emergency fund, your investments, the very moment your paycheck arrives, ideally scheduled for the same day. And then you close the laptop and let the machine be disciplined on your behalf while you get on with your life. The person with the automated system is not more virtuous than the person with the budgeting app. They have simply arranged things so that virtue is never required. Their good decision happens while they sleep. Everyone else has to make it again every single morning and lose, on average, about half the time. Problem 3. The free money nobody picks up. Before we route a single dollar toward anything clever, there is a step so obviously correct that skipping it should be illegal, and yet somewhere between 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 American workers skips it anyway. It is the employer match on a workplace retirement plan. The arrangement is almost suspiciously generous. Your employer offers to add money to your retirement account for free on the condition that you contribute some of your own first. A common structure is a 50% match on the first 6% of your salary. In plain terms, for every dollar you put in, up to that limit, your employer hands you 50 cents. That is an instant, guaranteed 50% return on your money, before it has been invested in anything, before the market has done a single thing. There is no legal investment on earth that reliably returns 50% in an afternoon. This one does it in a payroll cycle. And people leave it sitting there. One widely cited estimate put the total amount of employer match that American workers fail to claim at around $24 billion a year. Billion, every year. Money that was offered, that belonged to them the moment they contributed, walked past like a $20 bill on the sidewalk that everyone has agreed not to see. If you do nothing else after this video, contribute at least enough to capture your full match. It is the closest thing to free money that the financial world will ever offer you, and the offer has an expiration date measured in paychecks. Problem 4. The order of operations. Once you accept that saving comes first and that machine should do it for you, one question remains, and it is the question that trips up even careful people. In what order do the dollars go? Because you have a retirement match and a credit card and an empty emergency fund and a dozen worthy destinations all shouting at once. The order is not a matter of taste. It follows from arithmetic. First, capture the full employer match, always, even before you attack debt. This surprises people. Should you not kill a 24% credit card before anything else? Almost, but not quite. A 50% match beats a 24% interest rate, so you grab the match first, up to the limit, and only then turn to the debt. Second, the high-interest debt. Credit card interest in America routinely runs north of 20%, and no investment strategy can outrun a guaranteed 20-something% working against you. Paying off that balance is a risk-free return equal to the interest rate you are no longer paying. It is, quietly, one of the best investments available to an ordinary person. Third, the emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, parked somewhere boring and liquid, ideally a high-yield savings account earning real interest while it waits. This is not an investment. It is the thing that stops a flat tire or a lost job from becoming a credit card balance, which would drop you right back to step 2. The emergency fund is the wall that keeps the whole system from collapsing backward. Fourth, the tax-advantaged accounts. Now, and only now, you fill the vehicles the government built to reward you for waiting. A Roth account, where the money grows and comes out in retirement untaxed. A health savings account, which is quietly the most tax-advantaged vehicle in the entire code, deductible going in, growing untaxed, and coming out untaxed for medical costs. These have annual limits which rise most years, and the game is to fill as much of them as you can before the calendar resets. And underneath all 4 steps sits a single target that determines whether any of this actually works: the rate. Financial independence is not built by saving a heroic amount once. It is built by routing a consistent percentage of every paycheck, automatically, for a very long time. A common target is 25% of gross income flowing to your future. If that number just made you laugh, do not start there. Start at whatever percentage does not hurt, 3%, 5%, and then raise it by 1 point every time you get a raise. So the increase comes out of money you never learned to spend. Because that is the final trap, the one that catches the 6-figure earners. It is called lifestyle creep, and it is the reason a raise so rarely makes anyone feel richer. Income rises, and spending rises to meet it dollar for dollar, until the larger paycheck buys the same amount of breathing room as the smaller one did. The person who routes each raise to their savings rate before they ever feel it in their checking account escapes this entirely. Everyone else spends their whole career running faster on a machine that keeps matching their speed. None of this requires a higher income. That is the strange, almost insulting truth at the center of it. It requires only that you change the order. Pay your future first, off the top, automatically, on the day you are paid. Capture every dollar of free money before you do anything else. Then debt, then safety, then the accounts built to reward your patience. The person who does this on a modest salary will, over a working lifetime, quietly overtake the person who does the opposite on twice the income. Not because they earned more, because they routed better. Understanding money is your best defense.